In this video, I'm going to go over a few examples of using if-else statements in JavaScript. So here's the first example. And I think this should be pretty intuitive since you've already written if-else statements in Snap. Here, I'm just declaring two variables, nothing new here. I have a variable called time, and I'm prompting the user to enter what time they got up in the morning. What hour did you get up? And then I have another variable that I've called greeting. And then here is my if-else statement. So let's just go through this. I'm just asking if time, now of course time is what they just entered, if time is less than 7, then it's going to set the variable greeting to wow, concatenated, remember the plus concatenates things, with the time is early. All right. Else, if time is less than 10, it sets the greeting to getting up at whatever time is not too bad for the weekend. Else, it sets the greeting to yikes, whatever the time is late. Now, a couple of things I want to point out about syntax here. And this is going to be the tricky part, I think, is getting the syntax right. So notice after the if statement, whatever condition you have here must be written in parentheses. Sometimes students just want to say something like that. Oh no, no good. Again, the syntax is very precise. So after an if statement or an else if or an else, well, there's nothing after an else, but after an if or an else if, the expression, the Boolean expression must be in parentheses. And the other thing is, whatever you have inside of your if or your else if or your else must be surrounded by curly brackets. Now, the official name for these things are braces. And a programming style thing, sometimes people write the curly braces on the next line and line them up, but I'm going to do this style. It's kind of up to you. There's a bunch of different programming styles out there. As long as you're consistent, it's okay. So just to be clear, if time is less than 7, this open curly bracket begins whatever is going to happen if, in fact, this condition is true. This ending curly bracket, it goes the other way, is the end of whatever is going to happen if this condition is true. Inside of it, I can write as many lines as I want. I could say, wow, time is early. And I could put something else. I could say something like var x, I don't know, equals 50. Alert, whatever. So, oops, just to be clear, you can put whatever you like inside, in between the curly brackets. And whatever you put in here, and again, this is a programming style thing, really should be indented a couple of spaces. So hopefully that's not too bad. And then here I have an else if. If time is less than 10, it does, again, whatever is in between the curly brackets. Else, right? So if neither of these are true, it does this last case. And of course, I can run it right here, and hopefully it'll work. Well, I got up early. I got up at 5 o'clock. I know, that's insane. Wow, 5 is early, and I really should test it. 9. Getting up at 9 is not too bad for the weekend. Well, today is the weekend, so I guess that's not too bad. And I really should test it for something greater than 10, like 11. Yikes, 11 is late. So there you can see that it works. Just a couple more things. Of course, you probably know this already. You don't need to have an else if or an else with your if statement. I could, in fact, actually, that would also work. I could just have if time is less than 7, do this. Else if time is less than 10, do that. You don't necessarily need an else statement. It's kind of up to you, but I'll put the else back in there. I could just have this if I wanted to. I could say if time is less than 7, say this. Else, so no, in every other case, it does this condition. Now again, sometimes students make the mistake of writing a condition for an else. They might say something like, oops, else time less than 10, blah, blah, blah. No, that is not correct. If you have an else, there is no condition after it. You only have a condition if there's an if or an else if. And again, just to be clear, I could just have that. That's also valid. All right. And of course, the other thing is you can have as many else ifs as you want. I could say if time is less than 7, do this. Else if time is less than 8, do something else. Else if time is less than 9, do something else. So hopefully this first example is not too bad. Nothing much new here. This should all be kind of familiar from working with if-else statements in Snap. All right, let's look at another example. In this second example, I'm prompting the user to enter their average, and then I'm just asking if their average is greater than 65 Ampersand, ampersand, that's how you say and. So I'm saying if their average is greater than 65 and their average is less than or equal to 90, it will alert you're passing. I'm using alerts as my output. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that, but it's nice for testing. Else, if their average is greater than 90, alert you have an A average, good job. Else, alert you have a failing average. So of course, if I run this, it'll certainly work. I have a 99, let's say. Ooh, A average. I have a 6. Yeah, you have a failing average. A couple things I want to point out. Sometimes students will write that and they'll think that is actually saying that average is greater than 65 and average is less or equal to 90. Oh no, JavaScript does not know what you're talking about. You have to have a complete statement there. Average greater than 65 and also average less than or equal to 90. Of course, you can have as many ands as you want. You could have averages greater than 65 and average less than 90, and today is Tuesday, or whatever conditions you want. The other thing sometimes students forget to do is they'll write something like that. Maybe you could see what's wrong with that already. They'll say if average is between 65 and 90, do this. If it's greater than 90, do that. I'm going to run this, and you'll see the problem. Let's say my average is 90. You have a failing average? What? Well, of course you know what's going on. 90 is not less than 90, and it's not greater than 90. It's equal to 90. So you have to deal, these are called corner cases. You have to be careful about that, dealing with every possible value in there. All right, well, that's it. That's a short one, but we're just going to look at one more example, so hang in there. In this last example, I'm asking the user to enter a day of the week, and then I'm saying if the day is equal to Saturday. Now notice Saturday is in quotes, day is not. Day is a variable. Saturday, I'm actually literally looking for them to type in Saturday, S-A-T-U-R-D-A-Y, so that must be in quotes. And these things, these vertical lines, that's how you say or. Now they are located above your enter key, so you have to hit that button twice. That's how you say or. So if day is Saturday or day is Sunday, alert, it's the weekend, else school today. A couple of other things you might notice, this is a little bit funny. I have to say equals equals. Yes, that's different than saying that. If you say day equals Saturday, that's called an assignment statement. What that would do, it would actually change the value of day to Saturday. That's not going to work right. Equals equals is how you ask the question, are these equivalent? This is called a comparison statement. So let me just run this real quick and you can see that it works. And I put in a default, it's Saturday. Hey, it's the weekend. I'll run it one more time and I can put in Monday. So it should execute my else condition, school today. Actually, I'm going to do one thing. This will be interesting. I'm going to put in, I'm just going to change it to this. Then I'm going to put in Monday. And you'll see it's going to be a little bit funny. It said it's the weekend. Well, why did it say it's the weekend? Because it just assigned day to Saturday. You're going to make this mistake. Well, try not to. Inside of an if statement, if you want to compare something, it's equals equals. All right, so hopefully that is enough to get you going. And of course, you know how an or statement works. An or statement is true if one or the other is true. So if day is Saturday, or just like what it sounds like, day is Sunday, this will say it's the weekend, else it'll say school today. All right, I'm going to put all of the examples right underneath the link to this video, so you should be good to go on your first project. Thanks so much for watching.